You're watching this right now because you probably feel that you're not getting anything done in your life. It's not because of the morning routines or your evening routines. It's not because of the supplements you're taking or what time you're sleeping. It's actually down to one thing that you may not even realize is holding you back, and that is pressure. When we grow up, we're surrounded by pressure, peer pressure, pressure from ourselves internally to do well, and also the pressure that society puts on us subconsciously through media, news, etc., etc. When you're listening to a podcast or you're reading the news and people are talking about job losses and job cuts, does that put pressure on you to A, find a good job, or B, make sure you stay in a job because you don't want to be a statistic? A lot of the times, it's not done with the wrong intention. Pressure can create diamonds. Pressure molds brilliance out of different people. But when I grew up, I knew I wasn't like that. You see, I'm someone who worked in a bit of a weird way, very much last minute, a lot of overthinking. So putting pressure on yourself, let alone from others, was never going to be the way to go. And I found that in adulthood, you become more receptive to where different points of pressure are. You hear peer pressure through your friends, maybe what they've done in their lives so far to be successful. Heck, even the music you listen to from those who are famous and rubbing it in with how much money they have. Even your own family and friends. It happens. But that pressure is actually compounded by the pressure you put on yourself. Because you are probably an overthinker like me. And if you are an overthinker, then unless you get out of your own head and reduce the pressure you have put on yourself, it's never going to work. I'll put it this way. When I was at school, I was consistently near or top of the class. Not in a bragging way, just that's just how it was in some subjects. And what I realized is that I put a lot of pressure on myself to not only do well in a test, but also to be at the top of my class. I couldn't stand anyone else being at the top of my class, which is insane. But that's just how competition works. And a lot of the time I used to get good grades or near enough top of the class, but I'd still always have this nagging doubt that even if I did get to the top of the class, that there was still so much that I left in the tank. I should have got 100%. I should have got this right. Should have got that right. Now that carried over into my uni days. It just carried over into my adult life. And that example right there is probably something that a lot of you have gone through. And it is so mentally taxing because you put all that pressure on yourself. You just feel that the walls are closing in. And then if you do succeed, then it's like, right, no time to celebrate, on to the next one. And so I don't know if there's a universal cure for this, but one thing that has really helped me is to just live my life the way that God has planned it for me and try and strip things back to their bare essentials. What do I mean by that? Instead of trying to get to X amount of subscribers or instead of trying to record X amount of videos, just focus on the next step and make it as easy as you can. So for example, that was putting my mic on, heading outside. It's a bit gloomy right now, but the sun was out earlier, and just sitting down and recording. If you're trying to start a project and you just feel so much pressure, if you're trying to search for a job and you feel that pressure closing in, sometimes it's good as well to step away, take a break, go for a walk, let nature comfort you, as cringe as it sounds, and then come back with a fresh head. But also, I won't sugarcoat it. You need to have some discipline because you can do all of this, but you can still end up getting distracted. And if you get distracted, trust me, you're not going to get your best work done. So that combination of staying distraction free, putting your phone in another room or just making sure that there's no noise around you, like there is with me recording right now, and give yourself a timer as well. That can help you stay focused as well. I've got a timer in my room now, a kitchen timer. I use it for some tasks and it has helped me to lock in a bit more. That being said, go in with a plan, but only with enough information that you need before you can make a decision and start to act. And then finally, reduce the pressure on yourself. Cut out the noise from everyone. Literally close that door of the pressure that you're hearing from other people, from yourself, from your own inner voice. Shut the door on that and reduce the pressure on yourself, because you're not going to get your best result in a day, not even in a week, maybe not even in a month, but give it 6 months, a year of consistent focus, dedication, and planning, and you'll be a lot further ahead of where you were, and there'll be less pressure on you because you've put in the reps. When you go to the gym, there's so much pressure that you put on yourself to have a good workout, put on muscle, but then you very quickly realize that it's going to take way more than a day. You're going to suck at all the exercises you do because you've never done them before. So cut yourself some slack. Try and do one exercise at a time, and then naturally you build yourself up that way. Of course, you go on YouTube, you watch different workout videos, you find gym routines, you find diet plans. Take as much information as you need for that specific first step, and then just get on with it. Lower the stakes, and you'll raise your performance that way. And if you want to talk to me more about self-improvement, I've got a link down in the description. Book a call with me, and let's get started. Peace out.